Hey everyone, this is Bigu Kumar and topic allotted to me is basic anatomy and physiology of cardiovascular system in livestock and poultry. So let's start with basics. Firstly, we will try to know what is anatomy and what is physiology. So anatomy basically is a science that deals with the forms and structure of animals, and we can see the diagram over here. And physiology is the scientific study of life supporting properties, functions and processes of animals and their parts. So basically we can see the diagram of cattle here and some external structures. So after this we will know about the organs involved in circulatory systems. So basically there are three organs mainly involved in circulatory system. Those are heart, blood and blood vessels. So the heart it actually helps in the pumping of blood around the body. And if we talk about blood, so it is involved in the transportation of oxygen from lungs to cell of the body. And if we talk about blood vessels, so it mainly helps in transportation of blood and all. So there are basically three type of blood vessels, which are arteries, veins and capillaries. And we'll come to general anatomy. So the heart is located in the thoracic cavity between the lungs. In most livestock animals, it lies slightly to the left side of the chest. And the size of the heart in livestock animal can vary based on the species and size of the animal. So it can weigh around 0.5 to 1 kg in most of the cattle. The surface of the heart is typically a reddish brown color and has a smooth texture. The heart of the livestock animals has a somewhat conical shape with a broad base and tapered end. We can see over here broad base and tapered end. And the heart is encased with protective sac called the pericardium, so which is a tough and fibrous membrane that helps keep the heart in a place. If we talk about the chambers, so heart mainly have four chambers, that is left atrium, left ventricle and right ventricle. And this is the general internal structure of the heart. We can see this is right atrium, and the vessels which transports blood into right ventricle, right atrium is vena cava, which can be superior vena cava, inferior vena cava. And the blood after coming to right atrium, it is transported to right ventricle, which is supposed to pump the blood. When the right ventricle pumps the blood, it circulates from that right ventricle to our lungs, where this deoxygenated blood gets oxygenated and comes to left atrium through this blood vessels. After coming to left atrium, it is transported to left ventricle, and from where it goes to throughout the body with the help of aorta. So this is all we can see. This is left ventricle, this is right ventricle, and this is the septa. Right atrioventricular valve is involved in transportation of blood from right atrium to right ventricle. And we can see the oxygenated blood going throughout our body with the help of aorta, which is pumped from left ventricle. Okay, so next we'll see the major blood vessels connected to the heart. So the major blood vessels connected to the heart are aorta, pulmonary artery, pulmonary vein, vena cava, which consists of superior vena cava and inferior vena cava. And one more blood vessels which helps in transportation of blood within the heart. Those are coronary arteries. So coronary artery consists of right coronary artery and left main coronary artery. So this is the general diagram of our heart. We can see over here right superior vena cava aorta, pulmonary artery, pulmonary vein, and all those different parts. So our circulatory system mainly consists of two types of circulations. First is systemic circulation and second is pulmonary circulation. In systemic circulation mainly involves the transportation of oxygenated blood from left side of the heart to the body's organ and tissue. And the pulmonary circulation, this circulation is responsible for transporting deoxygenated blood from the right side of the heart to the lungs for oxygenation. Next we will come to the different blood vessels and their functions. So aorta, which is also the largest artery in our body, originates from the left ventricle of heart. It carries oxygenated blood from left ventricle to systemic circulation, supplying oxygen nutrients to all organs and tissue throughout the body. Pulmonary artery. The pulmonary artery is responsible for carrying deoxygenated blood from right ventricle of the heart to lungs. And the pulmonary vein, this vein are responsible for carrying oxygenated blood from lungs back to heart. And if you want to know about vena cava, so it is basically a blood vessels which carries deoxygenated blood back to the heart from body's organs and tissue. And talking about coronary artery, so it is mainly involved in supply of blood to heart. Thank you.